Hi, I'm Annabelle Kennedy. I work with Women Engage for a Common Future, WECF. We're an eco-feminist network organisation and we're happy to be part of the CBD Women's Caucus. We're here at the CBD COP 16.2. I think my reflections on these negotiations, this session, has been frustrating that, of course, the observers, we as the CBD Women's Caucus, have not been given the floor to speak, despite there being very little reference to the rules, the importance, the responsibilities, the rights of women, girls, Indigenous peoples, local communities, youth, other stakeholders in the negotiations. It seems that parties are still very wrapped up in their own national priorities without considering the diversity of stakeholders that are contributing to the CBD process, despite the fact that we know that women and girls, especially in all their diversity, have very little resources to support their efforts towards biodiversity protection, conservation, and sustainable use. And yeah, I think it's just really a pity that we're still not seeing guaranteed language on women and women in the text, women and youth in the text. And really a pity to see that certain countries are still not stepping up, are still not taking the responsibility to provide the biodiversity finance that's still so much needed. WECF is also active in the climate convention, UNFCCC, and we saw this same problem at COP29 last year in Azerbaijan, that nowhere near the amount of funding that's needed to solve these these triple crises, the poly crisis, are still not being presented, and certainly nowhere near enough of it, or hardly any of it. 0.1% in the climate space, for example, is getting to the grassroots level, getting to the woman, the youth, the Indigenous peoples who are the safeguards and the stewards of our biodiversity and our planet. So yeah, a reflection of quite some frustration, but I think this being together with the Women's Caucus, it reminds us why we do this. We have to keep fighting, keep struggling, even when we're not heard. We make ourselves be known in these rooms and keep taking up our space, and yeah, really ensuring that hopefully the voices, that we can represent the people who cannot be in these spaces, who are left unheard, deliberately silenced, that we keep trying to push for our inclusion, full and meaningful and effective, equitable participation in these spaces that have to consider us as rights holders.